This video is a look at Deandre Hopkins' first catch with the Baltimore Ravens. In fact, a 30-yard touchdown against Christian Benford on a 2nd and 7 in the third quarter. Usually when we do these 2-minute quick cuts to try to get through this as quickly as possible, I'll spot shadow the player that we're talking about initially on the first run through. And in this case, Hopkins is at the bottom of the screen against Benford. You can see it's a press man situation. They're both being physical with each other. Definitely Benford is a guy who's physical and tries to disrupt the receiver's release, doesn't concede ground. In this case, Hopkins is a guy who welcomes that, and he wins these one-on-one matchups even still. This second time through, we'll kind of try to talk about the technique and maybe what's going on the play. Again, it's a third quarter touchdown pass, puts the Ravens up, I think, 34-19. This safety to the downside of the screen, to Hopkins' side, in fact, he's kind of rolling between the hash and the tops of the numbers. The other safety is spinning down to play the tight end man-to-man. The Bills are bringing 5-man pressure. Ravens are making them pay. There's a lot going on from a coverage standpoint in terms of the contact between these two guys. Benford doesn't cede ground. He's physical with receivers. In this case, Hopkins welcomes that. It's like, you're giving me what I want, the game that I want to try to play, and I can win consistently is this type stuff. Now, who knows if you're going to be able to get one-handed touchdown catches against top-of-the-line corners like this all season. Another thing to mention is that up to the top side of the screen, Zay Flowers has obliterated Taron Johnson. Again, this is not a man football team, in my opinion. He's crossed over or crossed-faced on Taron Johnson and brought this back. If Lamar wanted to wait a little bit longer, he's got Flowers wide open for a touchdown, probably 5 to 6 yards of separation up to the top side. Hopkins is still framing up, or hand fighting, with Benford as he makes the catch. Like I said, that one puts the Ravens up 34-19 late in the third quarter. Of course, we know the defense collapsed in the fourth. So the Bills are bringing pressure. They're trying to get Bernard, the linebacker, with the right guard, and then the defensive tackle kind of crosses there. So you get this kind of split action in terms of those two's blitz flow. Lamar appears to be looking where Flowers ends up. This is Flowers right here. Again, he's going to cross face on Taron Johnson, really win that route. You kind of see it in the middle of the screen at the bottom. Spot shadow Hopkins again. Just amazing the way that he's able to, his play strength, he's able to play through contact, body control at the same time, withstand really, a strong physical corner. Benford, I thought, got exposed in man-to-man situations this week, or at least the Ravens were able to get a lot done at him against him. Bateman, Flowers, and Hopkins all had wins against Christian Benford in man-to-man situations. Now, the reality is you'll probably get PFF or some of the rating services like that gives them a positive grade on that play. Oh, he was close in coverage. It was tight coverage. It just happens to be a great catch for Hopkins. And we don't know because they don't release play-by-play information. You don't know what the score was for an individual play, at least to my knowledge. I don't pay for that shit. So, if I'm wrong, please feel free to educate me in the comment section. In any case, Deandre Hopkins put on a show. I'd like to see him get more targets for the Ravens as soon as next week because the Cleveland Browns are going to play a ton of man-to-man.